Sometimes our silence speaks volumes, but we must understand. The message our silence sends is not always what we've left unsaid. For when our silence won't cooperate, we need to learn to use our own voices. For while words can be sharp as daggers, the blunt nature of silence can cause far more damage. In this season, we'll be addressing the psychological impact of silence in our communities. And so please keep tuning in to learn more. Hello, Mental Glowers. How is it going? How have you guys been taking care of yourself since the last time we spoke about yoga, the power of yoga when it comes to prioritizing your mental health? So welcome back to Mental Glow. This is Jacqueline Owden. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm a psychologist and I am the host of Mental Glow. And so super excited for you guys to joining us today. And so this is our 8th episode of season 3, which makes it episode 48. Woo woo! We've come a long way, so thank you for your continued support and for always being active when it comes to sharing your ideas and also your feedback. Truly means a lot. So karibu sana, and please do join us on our Instagram and X account at Mental Glow TZ. And if you want to chit chat or talk about anything related to mental health, do not hesitate to reach out, and we will definitely get back to you. Okay, remember I promised you guys the last time that we will be talking about something really interesting today. And so as I promised guys, I keep my word. Today we'll be talking about dance therapy, the power of movement. We've been relying much as psychologists. We also, like, when it comes to prioritizing mental health, we normally talk about the power of talking and remaining in stillness, right? But then we tend to forget the power of movement. And I think in this episode we'll deep dive into that, and super excited for you to learn something from it, because I know for most people, especially Tanzanians, it's going to be a new thing to learn and unpack. So take a chill pill, take a deep breath in and out, and let's get started. Welcome, Carolin. Now I'm struggling.
Zeitler.
Exactly. So we have Carolin on board. I've been practicing to pronounce her German name for like a while, and so now it's the time for me to brag about it, and I fail. So welcome, Carolin. Thank you so much for joining us today. Carolin is a dance therapist. She's a trained dance therapist and currently works as a coach, but in occasions, she hosts, dance therapy sessions. So today we'll be learning a lot from her, and when you want to get that experience of how this therapy works, definitely reach out to her. She's your girl. So, karibu sana, Carolin.
Asante.
Super excited to learn from you today. And and hopefully everyone who is listening right now will finish this episode with something, to take home or to practice kwenye maisha yao. So,
I hope so.
So before we get started, we normally have a tradition. It's called M-Glow quizzing. I'll ask something that you never expected, and so buckle up.
Oh, you making me scared though.
It's not a big deal, but then here goes. Have you ever in your life, sought therapy?
Of course, many times.
Of course.
I'm a therapist. It's part of my training. To start with, like as part of my training, I had to do therapy. But even before that, I had already done some therapy. And even after, I regularly go for either therapy or coaching or, something that can help me because, personal development never ends. There is always room for more.
Yeah.
And we can take a break sometimes, to digest everything that we've learned and, help our growth in that way sometimes.
Yeah.
But then new topics will come up or new things that we get stuck on and, it's time to engage again.
True. And that is really meaningful. So if I may ask, how was your first experience when it comes to therapy? Like your first day that you went to, a psychologist or a therapist, how was it?
Well, my first experience was with a kind of movement therapy also. So a friend of mine, when I was a teenager, her mom had a retreat center and she hosted retreats there. And so I was invited to participate in one of those retreats. I was probably about 15 or 16 at the time. And the whole experience was very new to me. I didn't have a clue what was going on. My friend had told me about it a little bit, about what they do. But the thing is with movement therapy, it's the kind of thing that you cannot really imagine from when somebody tells you about it. You have to experience it to really understand it and to feel the power of it. So I went there with an open mind and just tried it out. And it was really like amazing, how much it shifted in me and how much better it made me feel. And that's I was sold, from that moment. I was sold.
That's funny. And then you were like, I need to get trained and also help other people, right?
No, that didn't actually immediately occur to me. It was like when I did my A levels, which is like the baccalaureate in Germany, I had so many ideas what I might do with my life. I couldn't decide what I want to study, so I decided to go travel. I thought, okay, I'll go travel, and then that'll help me make up my mind. And when I was traveling, I was in Australia and I was in this crazy hippie commune kind of place, and I remember running into this woman and I asked her what she does, and she said she's studying to be a dance therapist. And the moment I heard the term, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be, and then I was like, oh, what does a dance therapist do? How does it work? Because the weekend that I had gone to for the retreat, they didn't call it dance therapy or movement therapy. They had another name for it. I can't remember, but I didn't really associate it directly with movement therapy. And so when I heard this term, I'd always loved to dance. My mom always said I was wiggling, even in my Pampers, I was wiggling my bum to the rhythm. So you're going to do this. So it was always my passion to dance. And I briefly even considered becoming a professional dancer, but then decided against it. And so this was my moment. I was like, wow, this is a sustainable career I can do that has dance in it, That's because, as a dancer at 28, you're old and that's it, you're done. But this was a more sustainable career option that still allowed me to dance.
Yeah, true. I mean, you get to do what you love, but also for other people too. So that's really powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. So for you guys who are wondering, what is dance therapy? What is the difference between talk therapy? So Carolin will get into it just now. So could you please, Carolin, let us know, for those who are tuning in right now, and I'm also looking forward to learn a lot from you, from what you're just about to say in regards to what does dance therapy entails? Because right now, when you speak the word therapy, most people refer to, psychological support or, let's say talk therapy in most cases. But then for people to think of, let's say, because there are different kinds of therapy. There's music therapy, dance therapy. So in this episode, as we are diving deep to dance therapy, could you briefly let the audience or the person who's listening know what it entails. Yeah.
So just to be clear, like what I actually studied is precisely, it's called integrated expressive and dance therapy. So that kind of gives you a clue that it is very much about expressing yourself. And there are different schools of dance therapy, so I cannot speak for all of them, because some dance therapy schools, they actually prescribe certain styles of dance for certain ailments, for example, but we don't do that in the way that I studied. It's very much about expressing yourself. So it's about finding a way to express things through your body that you cannot express through your words, right? Because there are several issues with words. Like first of all, it's limited what we can express in words. It's very difficult to put feelings in words, right? And then it's also that certain things are stored in our brain in a certain way, as a story, right? Like some memories, they are stored as a story. But that story is just a really tiny piece of what actually happened. Like if you think about a family gathering where 20 people were there, and your memory of that family gathering would be quite different from the other people's stories. And they might have completely different stories about the same family gathering. Because everyone just stores what is relevant to them, and through their own, colored glasses, experience colored glasses. So, but we have another memory, which in dance therapy we call it cell memory, but in the more academic circles they call it, hang on, I looked this up to speak to the people, they call it sensory memory, for example, or implicit memory. And it's stored not so much in words, but in breath, like in breathing patterns or in posture or in certain movements, like things like that, or even like in smells, right? Like, sometimes a smell can bring back like a whole scene from your past, right?
True.
Like in full color.
Exactly. Very specific.
You know exactly where you smelled last, smelled before. So we have a lot of other ways of remembering. And dance therapy, because it allows you to move and to express yourself through movement, it allows you to access those different layers of memory. So that's one advantage that you have. Then you can remember things differently, and you can see another aspect of the truth, right? Because the truth is like a big pizza, and our memory of a certain occasion is just like one slice of that pizza, right? And this allows us to see maybe another couple of slices of the pizza pie, And then the other thing that dance therapy is very good for is that when we awaken memories, when we bring them back to life for a moment, there is a moment when we can change that memory. They refer to it nowadays as neuroplasticity, right? So you have that moment where you have an opportunity to go in there and change the memory.
The brain to rewire.
Yeah, the brain to rewire so that you remember things differently, and it's not so traumatic for you and not so, it doesn't hold you back so much, or it doesn't generate the same kinds of limiting beliefs. And movement has proven to be very good for that you can use that moment and you can shift the way that you remember something, because you can combine it with another thing, which is that a simulation of something is in the brain is perceived in the same way as an experience, right? It lights up the same areas of the brain, and it lets you have a very similar experience to an actual real life experience. So when you're, for example, what we used to do in our dance therapy training was we would simulate the birth experience. So if somebody had a very traumatic birth, then they could have like a new birth experience to sort of overwrite that traumatic experience that they'd had, right? So those are all things. And then like specifically with trauma, I think you're probably familiar with some of the some of the literature around how much movement can help with releasing trauma.
Yeah.
Because it's held often, it's held in like stiff posture or muscles, like cramped, tense muscles, and so shaking and, things like that can often, like breathing, shaking, those things can often help to release some of the trauma that we hold in our bodies. So these are just some of the main ways of how we can use dance therapy. And basically it can be used like in a clinical setting as a complementary therapy, or it can be used by itself. It can be used for people who just have issues like I'm so lonely, or I feel I'm so unlucky, or whatever, like normal kind of sort of everyday mental health issues.
Yeah.
And even in what's the word I'm looking for? When you have an accident and you recover from the accident, like getting moving again, like even in that you can use dance therapy.
I'm also trying to find the word.
Yeah, I know there's a word and starts with re, but I can't remember like the word right now.
It will come. The word will come. Give it time.
And it will come to us.
Yeah, that's really powerful, Carolin, what you just shared. And so it sounds to me like for some people, like I was also trying to think like what's the difference between regular like dancing or moving, like when you go to the club or just dancing at your home. What's the difference between just regular dancing by yourself and going for a dance therapy session? Yeah.
Well, first of all, I think regular dancing can also be therapeutic, right?
It is.
I think we all had that experience where you just let it all out, and feel like so much better. So there's definitely a therapeutic aspect to dancing, I think always. But the difference is, at least in the style that I've trained in, the difference is that if you do regular dancing, you listen to the music, the beat, the melody, and you move according to the music. So the music makes you move, right? It dictates how your body moves.
Yeah.
But if you're doing the kind of dancing that we do in dance therapy, it's called like expressive dance or authentic movement. And it comes from impulse. So it comes from inside, and it starts like from how you feel.
Got it.
Right? So you are expressing what you're feeling through the movement. And the music, if there is music, like usually we give music because most people feel awkward when there's no music and they try to move. But we try to give very neutral music that doesn't have lyrics, that doesn't have a particularly upbeat or downbeat kind of, that doesn't sort of dictate emotion, but that freely lets you interpret it in one way or another. Unless I want to push someone, like if I want to push someone to really discover their anger, to get at their anger, for example, then I would use music that helps them,
Makes sense.
Yeah, to that anger. But that's always depends on the situation, right?
So it means no one has to have dance experience, right? You don't have to be an expert in dancing.
You don't need any experience, and you don't need to be a good dancer. In fact, when someone is too good a dancer, it's often an obstacle. And because we had a lot of people from classical ballet who trained, because for a while I was teaching people to become dance therapists. So when I was working as at the institute, we sometimes had people who were trained in classical ballet, and they were so stiff in their torso, right? Because in classical ballet you don't move your torso. You just you hold it very tight, very straight. And so it was a big thing for them to even learn to like move the torso in different ways. And also they tend to see their body as like an instrument, so they're not really connected to how their body is feeling. They're more just kind of like making it work.
That's definitely an obstacle. Yeah, it makes sense. Wow, interesting. So I'm excited to try dance therapy today. I did. So going back to what you just shared regarding the, like how helpful dance therapy is to people that do experience depression or even like anxiety, I did come across this research paper that was exploring the effects of dance movement therapy and dance on health, and it showed tremendous impact on people's mental health, like how it helps people to how it decreased the level of depression and anxiety on people. So it's a really powerful tool, and it got me thinking, like, what is I know you've touched briefly, but then can you please deep dive into the science behind dance therapy, like, the physiological, what happens, when it comes to the body and the mind? Yeah.
There are definitely books about this where you can read about this in detail. I'm not that well versed in the scientific side of it, but like I was explaining before, it's really about like accessing this other memory, the sensory memory. The one that is not linked to words. It's sometimes about also getting a better access to the subconscious, because the subconscious doesn't work so much with words, right? It works on other levels. Yeah. So it can be really helpful to access more of your subconscious. It also helps to regulate the nervous system, which of course helps a lot with stress or fear-related issues that people have. Because we can access the vagus nerve, we can stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system through movement and dance. And so these things help like down-regulate stress in the body. And so a lot of the time also, what I notice is that when people come to you for therapy, it's usually because they're extremely stressed at that moment, right? They have an issue that is really like bothering them. Otherwise, they wouldn't take the step to come to therapy. And so the first thing that we always have to do as therapists is we have to stabilize, right? We have to stabilize the client that we can then work more deeply into issues or whatever. But the first step is always this, get people to be stable. And that's where movement can help a lot, to get people to feel more stable, because you can release so much of the stress that you're feeling, the fear that you're feeling. So that is an extremely helpful way, and often a shortcut to getting to that more stable feeling, right? So that you're not in this fight or flight mode anymore.
Or even freeze mode.
Yeah, or even freeze. That you're not like stuck, in these like primal states, but that you can actually access more of your brain and your consciousness and subconscious also, and start working through some of the issues.
Got it. Interesting. I'm at this position because I know, like, for let's say some people that are tuning in right now, I do believe that we have different people tuning in. Some are experts, some are just, lay people that are looking forward to learn from, what we have to talk about, but also especially for like providers, because we know when it comes to supporting people, or like supporting people in the mental health space, in most cases a psychologist or a therapist doesn't have to work alone, so a psychologist, in some instances, she or he has to refer her client to another professional. So in this case, given our context, especially in Tanzania, since, first of all, psychology is a new field, people are still trying to make sense of it, especially people in our communities are trying to make sense of it. So how can, as professionals, psychologists, psychiatrists, or even like doctors, make the most of dance therapy or like integrate it into their practice? Yeah.
Well, I think important to know is that it's not everyone's cup of tea, right? And you cannot force someone to do like dance therapy or movement therapy if they're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Right? It's important for people to understand that they don't need to have any kind of skilled or experience with movement and dance. Like they can do it even if they have zero. But they have to be willing, right? Like with any kind of therapy, the client has to be willing to try it and to see if it works for that. Right. And having said that, for the people that it does work for, it often works like much, much faster than talk therapy. It can be like a real shortcut that if you don't get anywhere with someone talking, it's a good thing to try. Like maybe another modality will work better with them. Maybe music, maybe dance, maybe art, might work better for them. Because different forms of expression are more accessible to different people.
Yeah. And especially when it comes to, because I know, as I said before, like there are different people that are listening right now, and some might also have the interest developed already when it comes to practicing dance therapy. So for those professionals that would want to go through that route, like what are the specific training that one needs to get to be able to practice that?
So there are many different schools of dance therapy. So what I would recommend is that first of all, you inform yourself and think about what kind of thing are you looking for, right?
Yeah.
Like some forms of dance therapy, you have to be a professional dancer to actually learn.
Really?
Yeah. So you have to study at the conservatorium for dance and then study dance therapy at the same time. Some forms are more like what I studied, which is more focused on expressive and authentic movement, which that has a kind of almost spiritual side to it, which again is an obstacle for some people, right?
Yeah.
It has no religious affiliation whatsoever, so no matter what your religion is, you could integrate it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work for everyone, right? Like some people, they're like, nah, it doesn't work for me. So that's another thing to consider. And then of course, it's important that you make sure that you get a kind of training where they take it seriously. That means you should have literally hundreds of hours that you need to do like a kind of internship or placement or something like that. You should have at least 25 hours of group therapy, at least 50 hours of therapy on yourself. All of that should be like a part of the requirement, right, of finishing the training. If that isn't part of the requirement, I wouldn't take it seriously, right? And it should be at least 3 years or 4 years of part-time training, right? Like most dance therapy trainings are part-time because it's usually done by people who are already working. It's usually not the first job that somebody learns. And because it requires like a certain amount of life experience to even start, becoming a therapist. So usually the minimum age is like 25 or something like that
for you
could even start
to be trained.
Yeah. And yeah, you really, and then there's always the other question, which is, do you want to go a more academic route or do you want to go a more experience-based route? Like some institutes are actually part of a university, so you have a more academic route. Some have private institutes that are more experience-based. So it's very much up to personal preference, a lot of it is about personal preference. And then there's these associations, like many countries have like art therapy associations or dance therapy associations. And then some of the trainings are recognized by those and others are not. And again, you have to see whether that's important to you or not.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of kind of boxes to check.
Get it.
And I would say it's very much dependent on the individual. that wants to do the training. Just the minimum requirements should be there, right? And like, it should take a few years. It should have a long internship as a requirement so that you're actually learning under supervision, right? It should have supervision as a requirement, right? So that whenever you start actually working as a therapist, that you have to work with the supervisor at regular intervals. There should be therapy on yourself. Like, all these things are like really important, so that you get like a decent training.
Interesting. And so when it comes to the requirement, you talked about group and individual therapy. To be specific, is it group dance therapy or talk therapy?
So the group therapy is usually movement based, but the individual therapy in our institute, at least, it's really not so much about the modality, but it's more about just being aware of your own issues, so that you don't project onto your clients, but that you're like alert, and that if something that is an issue of yours comes up in the session, that you're aware and you can sort of put it aside and say, okay, I know this is my issue. I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to call my supervisor after the session to deal with it, right? But now I'm here with my client, right? That takes quite a lot of hours of therapy for yourself to have that level of awareness and that level of having processed your issues to a point where you can put them aside, right? And you're not just triggered.
It makes sense. And looking at it, now I'm like, Tanzania, we have a long way to go. We do have a long way to go, but at least we're starting right now, because then, like, as you know, this episode airing out, people tuning in and listening, some people even get like creative ideas to partner with, let's say, other spaces or universities that are offering dance therapy, training. And so, because as of now, like, even some of the specialization when it comes to the psychology field, still we do not have that. You have to pursue abroad. Let's say it could be even Kenya or other countries, but not that you can find in Tanzania. So we still like have a long way to go when it comes to that, but still it is promising. Getting this exposure for professionals to know and understand. Some people, like, for those who can afford like going abroad and pursue their studies, then it makes sense. But for those who cannot, then I do believe that it will reach a time where there will be these spaces that do offer trainings to people that would love to venture or pursue into that field. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it can be very expensive. I remember I had to struggle a lot to make all the payments. I was a single mom at the time, working full time, and then
Try a lot.
Like pick a stand and make the money and pay it off and everything. Luckily, the institute was very good about like letting me pay in installments. But yeah, it is a big thing. But having said that, I would do it again anytime.
It was worth it.
It was so worth it, just for what it did for me personally. Even if I had never worked a day in my life as a dance therapist, it would be worth it just for my personal development,
Yeah. And that's the power of, therapy. Like, you shouldn't get to a point where you're offering to other people if it hasn't benefited you yet.
Yeah.
So I think doing that and seeing the benefits for yourself, you're even motivated to help other people get through what they're going through, and they can't express it through their words. Rather, movement can play a huge role when it comes to that. Interesting. So, speaking of, curiosity and interest, like for some people that are not professionals but would want to go for dance therapy sessions and they have access to that, what words do you have for them? Like, how can they start through that, in that journey?
So I think quite a low threshold thing to do is to go for something like expressive movement, ecstatic dance, 5 rhythms. There are like lots of different versions of this, but they're basically activities where you have like an hour or 90 minutes of dancing in a way that helps you express yourself. The main goal is to really express yourself. Yes, not to look pretty or to look cool. It's really to just, let out your feelings.
I would sweat. Because it's also the same thing that I said in the previous episode, that like for most people, especially me, when I first started like practicing yoga, I was so focused on how my body moves, like to be perfect. But then you miss the point of it as you're focused on that. So it makes sense.
Yeah, so that's quite a low threshold way to get into some kind of something that is similar to movement therapy. And then if you respond well to that, then you could go like to the next step, or even if you don't respond well to that, you might want to try like a one-to-one setting where it's more like tailored to your individual preferences.
I mean, of course. I was thinking through like,
Yeah, like what I do when I teach like expressive dance to beginners, I let them experiment with different qualities of movement. So, for example, we could say, try to move in a flowing way, right? So make flowing movements. And then you just try to do that, right? You make like movements that feel flowing. And then the next, to have a contrast to that, you would say staccato, like try staccato movements, like quick, sharp staccato kind of movement, right? Or try to do internal movement, so to focus on coming from the torso, coming from the center of your body, or try to focus on external movement, so trying to focus more on your feet and on your hands and starting the movement from there. So you can really experiment just with these kind of contrasting things, like or fast and slow, round and edgy, or like so many different ways of just trying different pairs of movement. You can also try the different levels, like standing, sitting, lying, that's something that a lot of people have never tried before. They do dance therapy is like dancing while lying on the floor. Like it gives you a whole different set of possibilities of how to move, right? So when you're starting from a lying position, like what can you do there? And how does the world look from there, right? It's a whole different perspective to have. Even in a very familiar room, you have probably never lain on the floor, right? Like looking at it from that perspective is really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have a lot of things that you can experiment with.
Yeah, interesting. It's true though. There are some people that have never tried that. So yeah, that's a great way to start. And yeah, looks like we're coming to the end of the episode. That was your time. So Carolin, when we've talked about dance therapy, right? We've explored in different angles. My question now will be a little bit general or broad, not specific when it comes to our context. So what gives you hope about the future of dance therapy and movement or movement-based healing? What gives you hope?
What gives me hope is that the mainstream is more and more coming to the same conclusions that we have known for decades as movement therapists. It's like we have maybe different terms for it, but now neuroscience and these kind of disciplines are coming to these same conclusions, and they're like, oh wow, we have a whole different brain in the gut, and we're like, yeah, we've known this for a while. Or we have a whole memory that is not in our brain. It's yes, we've known that for a long time. And, for a long time, we were laughed at for all of these things, people would be like, you crazy people, with your dancing and your movement. But now people are actually recognizing that these things do really help and do really make a difference, right? And that gives me a lot of hope, because once the mainstream accepts it, then it's so much easier to have it spread out, into the world and help more people.
You've gotten the buy-in.
Yeah, it's right. You need the buy-in, right? Otherwise, it's always going to be a fringe thing that only a few crazy people do. And while I'm always happy to be one of the few crazy people, it limits the benefit that it have.
Exactly.
Works, right?
Yeah. I hear you though. When you're starting something new, it doesn't make sense for other people, the majority. But then as we continue to do research, even for other people to experience and testify, it gives hope for other people, to even be more aware and acceptance of trying or even seeing the benefits of dance therapy. I mean, it's not just dance therapy, it's even therapy in general. People are like, what are you saying? At least now, dance therapists get to be referred as crazy, but for those people that are seeking, let's say psychotherapy, they're being referred as, crazy. But in most cases, it is not true. It's more getting that space to understand yourself more, and most people do not get that space. So yeah,
I think the thing is, what most people don't realize is that if you really invest in your personal growth, it doesn't just help yourself, it helps all the people around you, because you're just gonna be a better human being, someone who's easier to interact with, someone who can be more present for others, right? And this is not about navel gazing. I really want to, differentiate, because there's a lot of that going on as well. And that's not what we're talking about, right? We are talking about genuine personal growth, where you're really critically seeing what are my issues and how can I start to address them.
True. And yeah, you guys, this is the end, and it's been exciting. And now, since we started this season 3, now you have 2 tools to integrate into your daily routine of prioritizing your health or mental health. We started with yoga, and now you have the dance therapy. So make the most of it. Reach out, try different things. This year is the year of growth. Try things that scare you, things that takes you out of your comfort zone, and that's how we all grow. So yeah, do invest on your health. Mental health should be a priority. So Carolin, do you have any last thing you would want for our listeners, beloved listeners, to hear or take from this episode?
Yeah, my motto is always trust your truth, right? So
I saw that post.
It's really about feeling into what is right for you and trusting that. I recognize that yoga and dance therapy and these things are not for everyone, and that's absolutely fine. But be open to it and just explore.
Yeah.
See if it is for you, and if it's not, it's fine.
Sure.
But give it a chance.
Yeah. Don't just hear it from another person's perspective, but be open to try it, and see if it does work for you.
Yeah, because the only way you can really understand it is by experiencing it.
Got it. Yeah. And yeah, I love speak your truth, trust your truth, and I'll add to that, speak your truth even when your voice shakes. So
I love that. Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being with us until the end of this episode. And for those who do not know, we started selling tote bags. So please do reach out on our Instagram page, check which one you prefer the most, or catches your interest, and yeah, DM us and we will figure out how we can deliver it to you. The aim is to spread the mental health knowledge, to even raise the awareness even through the tote bags, like in style, raise the awareness in style. So yeah, check us out and we'll be happy to do this together, continue to raise mental health awareness together in style, through tote bags, and you never know what might come next. So make the most of the tote bags as they last. And super excited to continue this journey with you guys. As we look forward to the next episode, please take time to reflect on what we just touched based on dance therapy. And I just want to encourage you, as Carolin said, to just be open to new experiences, right? Just be open to new experiences, because you never know what might that add to your life. So yeah, take care of yourself. Until we meet again in the next episode, join us on our Instagram page and X account at MentalGlowTZ, and take care of yourself in the meantime. Bye.